Uniswap value equivalent to 171.98 rands a coin. The present cost range 163.54 175.11. The earlier day close 168.66. The change was plus 3, 32 plus 1. 97%. Backwards rate, ZAR to Uni. Uniswap cost expectation for November 2024. Before all else cost at 136 rands. Excessive cost 136, while low cost 106. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 123. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 114. Change for November 16.2%. Uniswap conjecture for December 2024. At the outset cost at 114 rands. Excessive cost 136, while low cost 114. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 123. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 127. Change for December 11th. 4%. Uniswap cost expectation for January 2025. At the outset cost at 127 rands. Excessive cost 157, while low cost 127. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 140. Uniswap cost figure toward the month's end 147. Change for January 15th. 7%. Uniswap figure for February 2025. Initially cost at 147 rands. Excessive cost 159, while low cost 139. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 149. Uniswap cost figure toward the month's end 149. Change for February 1st. 4%. Uniswap cost expectation for Walk 2025. Initially cost at 149 rands. Excessive cost 185, while low cost 149. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 164. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 173. Change for spring 16.1%. Uniswap conjecture for April 2025. Before all else cost at 173 rands. Excessive cost 215, while low cost 173. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 191. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 201. Change for April 16th. 2%. Uniswap cost expectation for May 2025. First and foremost cost at 201 rands. Exorbitant cost 201, while low cost 172. The found the middle value of cost 190. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 185. Change for May 8.0%. Uniswap estimate for June 2025. To start with cost at 185 rands. Exorbitant cost 202, while low cost 176. The found the middle value of cost 188. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 189. Change for June 2nd. 2%. Uniswap cost expectation for July 2025. To start with cost at 189 rands. Exorbitant cost 205, while low cost 179. The found the middle value of cost 191. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 192. Change for July 1st. 6%. Uniswap estimate for August 2025. To start with cost at 192 rands. Excessive cost 239, while low cost 192. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 212. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 223. Change for August 16th. 1%. Uniswap cost expectation for September 2025. Before all else cost at 223 rands. Excessive cost 239, while low cost 207. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 223. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 223. Change for September 0.0%. Uniswap conjecture for October 2025. Before all else cost at 223 rands. Excessive cost 238, while low cost 206. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 222. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 222. Change for October 0.4%. Uniswap cost expectation for November 2025. At the outset cost at 222 rands. Excessive cost 222, while low cost 191. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 210. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 205. Change for November 7.7%. Uniswap conjecture for December 2025. At the outset cost at 205 rands. Excessive cost 205, while low cost 172. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 192. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 185. Change for December 9.8%. Uniswap cost expectation for January 2026. Initially cost at 185 rands. Excessive cost 207, while low cost 179. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 191. Uniswap cost figure toward the month's end 193. Change for January 4th. 3%. Uniswap figure for February 2026. Initially cost at 193 rands. Excessive cost 240, while low cost 193. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 213. Uniswap cost figure toward the month's end 224. Change for February 16th. 1%. Uniswap cost expectation for Walk 2026. Before all else cost at 224 rands. Excessive cost 224, while low cost 181. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 206. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 195. Change for spring 12.9%. Uniswap estimate for April 2026. To start with cost at 195 rands. Exorbitant cost 212, while low cost 184. They found the middle value of cost 197. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 198. Change for April 1st. 5%. Uniswap cost expectation for May 2026. Before all else cost at 198 rands. Excessive cost 230, while low cost 198. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 210. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 215. Change for May 8th. 6%. Uniswap estimate for June 2026. To start with cost at 215 rands. Exorbitant cost 257, while low cost 215. They found the middle value of cost 232. Uniswap cost estimate toward the month's end 240. Change for June 11th. 6%. Uniswap cost expectation for July 2026. Before all else cost at 240 rands. Excessive cost 261, while low cost 227. Be arrived at the midpoint of cost 243. Uniswap cost conjecture toward the month's end 244. Change for July 1st. 7%. Uniswap gauge for August 2026. In the first place,